Family is everything. You heard it casually, at dinner tables, at weddings, at funerals. It was written into culture, into religion, into expectation. You were taught that family is the one place you should never have to earn your right to exist. The one bond that's supposed to survive everything. The one relationship you're never allowed to walk away from. So when you do, when you choose distance, silence, or no contact at all, the world struggles to understand. They call you cold, selfish, ungrateful. They ask, how could you cut off your own blood? But what they rarely ask is this: what if staying was costing you your sanity? What if leaving was the first act of self-preservation you were ever allowed to make? Today, this is about family estrangement, not from a place of blame, but from a place of understanding. This isn't a story about hatred, it's a story about survival. And for you, it likely began much earlier than anyone ever realized. Estrangement almost never starts with a dramatic argument. There's rarely a single explosive moment. It starts quietly, so quietly that even you may not notice it at first. From the outside, everything looks fine. Photos are taken, holidays are attended, smiles are practiced. But beneath the surface, something is eroding. Not all at once, not loudly, slowly, like water wearing down stone. It's the comment that sounds like concern but feels like criticism. The joke that lands a little too close to an old wound. The boundary that gets crossed, apologized for, and then crossed again. It's being talked over, dismissed, corrected. It's the feeling that you have to brace yourself before every interaction, that you rehearse conversations in your head just to avoid conflict, that parts of you go quiet when certain people enter the room. Nothing here seems bad enough on its own, and that's what makes it so confusing. Because how do you explain pain that doesn't leave bruises? Psychology calls these experiences micro-traumas, but you don't need the word to feel their weight. Your body already knows. Your shoulders tense before the phone rings. Your stomach drops before family gatherings. Your chest tightens when you hear certain names. Over time, the relationship stops feeling neutral. It becomes draining and eventually exhausting. Estrangement doesn't happen because you stop caring. It happens because you slowly run out of capacity, out of energy, out of hope, out of room to keep absorbing the same emotional injuries. Before the break comes exhaustion, and before exhaustion come years of being worn down. This is the beginning most people never see. From the outside, estrangement looks sudden. Parents say, "You just disappeared." Friends say, "But everything seemed fine." Siblings say, "I don't understand what changed." But they're only seeing the surface. This is the volcano effect. A volcano looks like it erupts out of nowhere, but pressure has been building beneath the surface for years. Magma doesn't form overnight. It accumulates silently, relentlessly. Family estrangement works the same way. The final argument isn't the cause. The last comment isn't the reason. The breaking point isn't the beginning. It's simply the moment the internal pressure becomes unbearable. To them, it feels like, "You cut me off because of this one thing." To you, it feels like, "This has been happening my entire life." Estrangement isn't a reaction, it's a culmination, a release of pain you could no longer contain. And when the silence finally comes, it isn't a relief at first, it's shock, even for you. Long before you chose distance, you were likely placed into roles you never agreed to play. In dysfunctional family systems, your identity isn't discovered, it's assigned. And those assignments shape everything. You might have been the golden child, praised, protected, expected to succeed. Your worth tied to performance, your love conditional, even when it looked generous. Or you might have been the scapegoat, blamed for tension you didn't create, the truth teller, the emotionally aware one. Often, the scapegoat is the healthiest person in the family, and the first to be rejected for refusing to carry everyone else's shame. You might have been the invisible child, surviving by disappearing, by needing little, by staying quiet. You grew up independent, but unsure if you deserved attention at all. Or you might have been the parentified child, the emotional caretaker, the mediator, the peacekeeper. You learned early that love is earned through sacrifice, that your needs come last, that being useful is the same as being valued. None of these roles allowed you to develop a true self. They taught guilt, obligation, emotional suppression, and these patterns followed you into adulthood. So when you finally tried to step out of your role, when you said no, set boundaries, or chose yourself, the system reacted, not with curiosity, but with resistance. Because when you stop playing your role, the system loses its balance. And in families like these, reclaiming your identity feels like betrayal. For you, estrangement wasn't about leaving your family. It was about escaping the role that was slowly destroying you. Some wounds are loud, others are quiet, and emotional neglect is one of the quietest wounds there is. It leaves no visible scars, no dramatic stories, just absence. The comfort that wasn't offered, the protection that never came, the curiosity about your inner world that never existed. You learned early that your feelings were inconvenient, or excessive, or irrelevant. And as an adult, you may appear strong, self-sufficient, unbothered, but there's an ache that lingers. This is the empty well. You keep returning to your family hoping something will be different, that this time they'll listen, that this time they'll show up. You lower your expectations. You explain yourself more gently. You try again and again. But the well is always dry. And eventually you realize something painful. Continuing to return is a form of self-abandonment. You didn't leave because of what they did. You left because of what they could never give. For you, estrangement wasn't rejection. It was the decision to stop thirsting for a love that never existed. And grieving that absence can hurt more than grieving an event, because you're mourning a childhood you never had. So why did you stay so long? Why endure years, sometimes decades of pain? Two psychological forces explain this: trauma bonding and the hope cycle. Trauma bonding forms when harm and warmth are intertwined. A cutting remark followed by affection. A boundary crossed followed by an apology. A period of neglect followed by sudden attention. Your nervous system became confused. Inconsistency started to feel like love. You learned that if you just tried harder, did better, stayed calmer, you might finally earn the care you needed as a child. And that's where hope took hold. Hope kept you waiting, forgiving, returning, not because things were good, but because you were attached to who they could be, not who they consistently were. You were taught that leaving is disloyal, that choosing peace is selfish, that boundaries equal rejection. So you stayed, you shrank, you rationalized, until a quiet realization formed. If I stay, I will disappear. And that's often where estrangement truly begins. When people hear the phrase "no contact," they imagine anger, punishment, coldness. But for you, distance wasn't about revenge, it was about safety. And it didn't have to look the same for everyone. You might have chosen low contact, shorter conversations, fewer visits, surface-level topics, or gray rock, neutral responses, minimal emotion, predictability. Not because you didn't care, but because caring had always cost you too much. And sometimes, after every boundary was ignored, after every attempt failed, no contact became the last option. Not because you hated your family, but because every other strategy was exhausted. Choosing distance brought conflicting emotions: grief, guilt, relief. You mourned the parent you hoped for. You felt guilty for choosing yourself, and you breathed easier without the chaos. This decision was never simple. It was made after years of trying to make things work. Distance wasn't rejection, it was clarity. The deepest pain of estrangement isn't separation, it's ambiguous loss. You're grieving someone who's still alive, still posting photos, still existing in the world, but emotionally unreachable. There's no funeral, no closure, no clear ending, just silence. You grieve the relationship you never had, the parent you hoped for, the safety you longed for. Holidays become complicated, empty.